Good morning, folks. Hope this video is reaching you well. Welcome to the Big Sigh, or welcome back if you're a returner. Thanks for joining me again. This morning's a tough one. The body's not playing ball so much. It's in quite a lot of pain and discomfort. So having to be kind to myself and take it slow. And that's what the human experience has in store for me today. And similar to yesterday, I was really, can I be bothered to do it today? Was what came up. But new George is consistency George, project consistency. And the whole point of this, I think, again, repeating myself from yesterday, but the whole point of this video, this YouTube channel, is to not pretend that anything's different from how it is. It's to really be as human as possible, and show all of the sides, And there's a parallel I've realized between wanting to, being willing to put out to the world parts of myself, and also that I might, be worried of putting out there, but also my level of self-love and acceptance, because it helps me to accept more and more parts of myself if I can put that bit out to the world just as it is, unfiltered. So that feels, this is helping me a lot, because I'm filming even when I'm in crappy headspaces or whatever it is. And despite the resistance and the not wanting to do it, it's just each time it's just like, this is okay too. And I'm taking this approach of forgetting about whether it's entertaining. I'm just sort of having faith in the realness of it all, and I strongly believe that that's what we need more in our society, in our world. Just honesty and realness. Whether that, then works for the algorithm, and whether people actually want to see that, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not really primarily doing it for that. But it has been very useful for me already, personally. And I haven't even put any of these, at this point, I'm on day 9 and I haven't actually posted any of the videos yet. I've just filmed them. I'm in the process of posting them and building a YouTube channel, and coming up with a system to do it all as stress-free and with as little effort as possible. I want this to be so easeful, and who knows whether it'll be worth sharing, I don't know. But there's part of me that just wants to do this. And so if there's anyone out there who's not in a good way right now watching this, and who's really struggling, maybe it's physical pain or energy or self-doubt, or not feeling like that part of them is worthy to be seen, then solidarity to you and sending you lots of love, because it's really hard. It's really hard. It's really painful. And doing this practice, is helping in some way. It's just about being seen and about allowing those parts of us that, we don't want people to see a lot of the time, because we want to be sexy and attractive and likeable and all of that jazz. I mean, I pretty much repackage the same thing every morning. But that's it though. That's what's important. That's what feels important for me to share with people is my relationship with vulnerability and how that's transformed my life in ways that previous me wouldn't have comprehended. So yeah, God, we haven't done the sigh. The big sigh. Let's do the big sigh. Yeah. So with that little preface in mind, let's do our usual big sigh together if you'd like to join me. And we'll return to ourselves and return to our hearts and bring our awareness inwards and just let go of the fight, of the struggle as we breathe out, as we sigh. Just let go of all of the trying, the effort, running on the treadmill, and just allow yourself to be in this moment. Just to be with yourself and allow things to just unravel on their own accord. Yeah, so nice big in breath. And just give up. I give up. I give up pretending. I give up pretending that everything is okay and portraying an image of myself that is trying to be better than the reality. One thing I've noticed about that whole dynamic of pretending is that there's been this deep undercurrent of fear of when it comes to romantic relationship, I realize a lot of my thinking around being accepted revolves around like finding a romantic partner or being attractive, which is quite interesting. And a lot of the fears are, oh, well, the story goes, I don't say this out loud in my head, but the story would go, oh, that part of you is not attractive, sexy. You need to change that part of you. Or you need to show everyone, pretend to everyone that part of you doesn't exist. Or, yeah, you need to change it. And you need to work on changing that so that you can be more attractive and you can find a partner or whatever. But then there's this deep undercurrent of who I really am is not lovable. You know, warts and all those warts and all those ugly parts, all those very human parts in reality, they're not acceptable or allowed. And if there's a fear of fully committing and diving in because there's a fear of what they might discover, and then I'm not sure if I can handle the pain of being rejected for all of those uglier, darker, less attractive, less sexy attributes. And that's really painful. And I think that's driven quite a lot of my avoidance and my lack of my challenges around commitment. When it comes to romantic relationships, I've lasted a year is my best. But then before that, I was like consistently 6 months, which was interesting. And I was struggling with a lot of mental health stuff during those similar sort of pattern. I would really enjoy the relationship, and then basically my depression would start kicking in at about 4 months, and then it was the slow decline over 2 months, I guess, me pulling away because I was too scared, too scared to continue to give. And obviously some, I don't think any of them were right. Any relationship that I've had, it's not been the right match, to be honest. But yeah, there's something there around. I think it's also driven by a lack of self-worth and a lack of feeling like I deserve it. But this underlying fear underneath it all, that's driving a lot of that desire to escape, and for them not to see it. It's like get out before they see the real ugly stuff underneath it. But I'm really taking a very different approach these days. I'm not proactively looking for a partner, for one. I'm just allowing things to unfold as they will. But number two, I feel like I'm trying to be as truthful and honest with myself and as vulnerable and open as I can possibly be, warts and all, from the start. And if that turns people away, then they're not the right person. It's like a good way to filter out the people who aren't right. And one thing I'm noticing is that it has an incredibly powerful connecting effect. And it helps others to feel safe. And then I start having these conversations that I like, talking about all of these human ugly things, because something that really helped is being trapped in, again, something I've talked about in a previous video, but being trapped in this idea that I'm uniquely fucked up, is like one of the most common experiences out there, all imagining that we're the broken one and we're the only one. And that was all my depression and social anxiety. That was the voice. Everyone else seems to just have it together, and they seem to be able to love themselves, and they've got self-esteem and self-respect, and they're just getting on with life, and they've just got their shit together. But you, George, you're really broken. You're really fucked. No one else has the thoughts that you have. No one else has these dark, shadowy inclinations or opinions or judgments or whatever. You're just a bad person. You're broken. All of these stories. But what's so funny is that, I've spoken to so many people about this, and so many people have this dynamic, which has a sort of hilarious irony to it. So, understanding that we're all human and we've all got these like tendencies in us, we've all got these. One of the things that intrusive thoughts were something that still happen to me, but I think they happen to me a bit less, but definitely something that I experience, like some really scary thoughts occurring to me. An example might be like I'm on the tube platform in London, and my brain just goes, imagine if you just pushed that guy in front of the train, or imagine if you just jumped in front of the train. Right? And God, the terror that would come up in response to that thought in me. I wonder if these thoughts are there to sort of make us. My dad always used to think that, like, shall I just jump off the cliff? And his theory was that those thoughts come to make us terrified of doing it, so we then step away. I was recently in Mallorca, at the start of the year, with some friends. Had a beautiful time in Mallorca. God, it's such a beautiful place. We went for this incredible walk along this sort of cliff edge, and there was one moment where everyone was hanging out just near the edge of the cliff, really near the edge of the cliff. And these intrusive thoughts for me, oh my goodness, they just came. I kept imagining pushing my friends off, or like slipping and falling, or me jumping off, or just any version of like falling off the cliff. Every single combination that you could imagine was occurring to me, and it was just too stressful. I really just had to step away from the edge of that cliff. Everyone else was super cool about it. They were all chill and looking cool for Instagram and all that shit. I was just like, nope. I was like, I can film you guys from like back here. I was really shocked. I was really like, I was so with it. I was so present with it, but such a real fear in response to those thoughts, you know? So maybe they haven't decreased over time. Maybe they're just still as strong. But I think the big difference is how I relate to them now. I just see them as thoughts coming and going, and I don't make it a story about how I'm an evil person because I want to throw someone off a cliff, you know, or push someone in front of a tube train. And that's the shift. That's the huge lesson that I'm learning still, and I will continue to learn. Is it's not about the thing itself, it's about how we relate to it. You know, it's not about that thought. The thought itself is harmless, but how we then, the stories that we then create, the identities that then we build for ourselves around those thoughts are what causes the harm. So it could quite easily be, God, what if I just push that guy in front of the train? And then I could just continue with life and not do anything with that thought. Just that thought just comes and goes. Whereas what has been happening most of my life is that thought occurs to me, God, what if you just push that guy in front of the train? And then, oh my God, that's such a fucking fucked up thing to think about. Why are you thinking that? That is a dodgy thought. Imagine if the people around you knew that you just thought. Imagine if that guy just knew you thought, you just had the thought of pushing him onto the tracks in front of the train. How would you? He'd be like, you're a freak and you're broken and you need to go to a ward, you know, and fix yourself. So then I then make this whole story and this identity, and I then have this sense of needing to analyze and to fix the problem. But the only problem is the fact that I'm perceiving it as a problem. If you change your relationship with thoughts and just see them as things that are occurring to us that just come and go, they're kind of harmless in and of themselves. They don't have any tangible, we get a choice. We get a choice whether to respond to them or not, basically. And we have no control over those thoughts coming in. Like that intrusive thought, I didn't control it. I didn't choose to have it. It literally just occurred. Even the phrase, it occurred to us, right? It's not we occurred it. It occurred to us, you know? It just happened. That phenomenon of thought just happened in our brains, you know, in our experience. So what we're doing is we're imagining that we can control and change something that's out of our control when we start trying to fix the thoughts, you know, trying to change the thoughts. They're not in our control, and then we just get caught in this suffering loop of identifying with ourselves and imagining that we are in control and that we did it, and that makes us a bad person, or whatever your story is around whatever the thought is. We can get into that space of just allowing things to come and go, no matter how fucked up. And it's hard, right? It is hard. Again, God, talking about the same topic again here, but in society, it's like the rules of society, the things that we learn around us, our conditioning. We're picking up all these signs that this type of behavior is wrong. This type of thought is wrong. We're told by people. But here is my permission to you in this moment to prioritize self-kindness, self-allowance, over whatever anyone else is telling you how you should be. If we can use ourselves as our compass and tune in with ourselves, we can then start to trust ourselves, and we don't have to go around, what's the rules? I need to figure out what the rules are, and they seem to be changing all the time with different people, and it's an impossible task. We must listen to our inner truths in order to find any peace in this life, and self-love and compassion, And if you can prioritize, and I say this just as much to myself now as to you, if we can prioritize allowing as much of our humanness and ourselves as we can into our experience, then over prioritizing the opinions of other people, then we will be on a path to greater contentment and peace in life, and just have a better life. It's so important. It's like the fundamental to our health and our healing and our experience of life. Because we've got this, it's all happening in here. It's not out there really. It's all in here. How we feel in response to the stimulus going on outside us, that happens all within us. Two people can receive exactly the same message. One person can be incredibly hurt by it, and the other one could find joy in it. The difference is what's going on in here. But we have got these. We sort of possess these sacred humans that have gone through all this conditioning and that do react. And we're all imperfect, and it's really fucking hard, man. Sometimes it's really, really hard. We're all reactive, and we've got all these automatic responses to being triggered by stuff. That defensiveness. Yeah. It's not easy. It's not easy. And it's only over time, step by step, that, we can get better. We can slowly decrease our sense of defensiveness and reactiveness and create more and more space. And again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Meditation is basically the practice of doing that. Giving ourselves space, practicing giving ourselves space before we react. A thought occurs before meditation or practicing. It would just be a thought occurs, and we instantly react, and then we instantly build stories and blah, blah, blah. We learn to meditate. We learn to notice that whole process. Yeah. And we get swept along usually. I still do, having meditated for many years, swept along by this chain of events, and then notice at some point, oh yeah. And then you can work back the chain of events and realize where it came from. And the more you practice this, the better you get at noticing, and the earlier, the sooner you catch it. But then you can get so good at noticing what's going on that the noticing itself gives the space. And then with that space, you can then decide whether to act on that thought or that chain of mental events, or whether you take, if you go down the same path or you decide to go somewhere different. That's the beauty of meditation. I mean, it's an incredible practice. So yeah, it's something I heavily encourage. So if you haven't had any experience with it, my invitation would be to try and step in, because give it a go. And I know it's hard. But I've said this in many previous videos, I'm sure. But can't stress it enough. I'm also noticing how much I'm repeating myself with a lot of these videos, and I just want to acknowledge that in this video, just to say that I don't think that matters too much. I'm wondering whether that matters, because I feel like I have a strong message and clarity around certain things, and actually I don't mind repeating them because it takes repetition to get these lessons in, to get these understandings in. And we can deepen that understanding by saying it and saying the same thing in many different ways. I think a lot of great teachers do that, but also conscious that this may be your first time watching one of my videos and I keep banging on about how I've already said this and I've already said that, and there's a part of me that wonders, should I just not acknowledge that? Should I just say the thing and not say, like I said in the previous video, it's like I'm trying to validate the fact that I'm repeating myself. So maybe in this moment, this is a moment of me just giving myself permission to just say the same thing again if I want to. The goal here with these videos is not to make the perfect content. It's just consistency, turning up, no matter what happens, which is really what I'm doing, particularly today, feeling so rough. And yeah, just acknowledging now I'm feeling quite a lot better by sharing this and talking from the heart and saying what's actually going on, what's actually real. And even if one person watches this video, it doesn't matter so much because I feel better. It was like the process of shooting this video itself was really useful. So yeah, I will leave it there though. I'm going to not bang on too long today. The videos have been like 40 minutes, over 40 minutes, which is quite long. But again, I don't think that matters. I'm not doing it to optimize it for YouTube. I'm doing it for me. I'm just saying what I want to say. And that's really self-loving. It feels really like just give myself space. That's doing it for me. That's not doing it to try and people please or YouTube algorithm please. Maybe that's a new thing we should start talking about. Forget people pleasers. It's going to become algorithm pleasers, AI pleasers, robot pleasers. Yeah. So there we go. And maybe they won't push it, and that's fine. But I'm going to wrap up there. It's really nice to talk to you, even though you can't talk back. But do share some comments or anything. And if there are things that you're struggling with, I was thinking about this, if there are anything that you're struggling with in life that you'd like to be me to talk about, I'd really enjoy that. I'd really enjoy just sharing my thoughts on certain topics. If you think that would be helpful for you, any challenges that you've got, any questions that you've got, just whack them in the comments. I will read every single one, unless I just go super viral straight away, which is not going to happen. And I'm inundated with comments. I can't imagine that being the case, but yeah, my intention is to really be active and respond to the comments as much as possible. And I can talk about anything that you're struggling with or that you want to talk about, anything that you find interesting. Should you want my opinions, because anyway. So yeah, if you want to comment, but also like, share, subscribe, I'd really love that. As always, I would really be touched if you felt like you wanted to do that. That would be incredible for me, really nourishing. That would be a gift to me, so you could give back in that way if you ever felt like you wanted to. So yeah, like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the bell, all of those things. And sending you so much love wherever you are in your very human, no doubt messy, no doubt imperfect experience. Looking forward to chatting to you again in the next video. Sending lots of love, and as always, happy humaning.